Yeah.
So, dude, this is a long time coming.
Yeah.
I appreciate you jumping in.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
we've
sure.
been friends for over 5-6 years now.
Yeah,
Since you
long
first
time.
got introduced and moved up here. So, tell me, before we start and get into the real estate stuff, because I'm super excited for that part of yours, because you're so process driven and so like this big vision. I love it. But prior to getting into real estate, what were you doing?
Yeah, well, happy to be here for sure. I always I always tell people you were like one of my first friends here in Phoenix because I moved up here from Tucson and I didn't really know anybody. And I remember exactly where we went. We'll get to that, but I remember the restaurant. I know exactly where we went for my first dinner with you, and it was awesome. So, what was I doing before real estate? I was in college. So, I went to U of A, and I had really not sure exactly what I was going to do. So, I got into U of A, graduated, and then I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. You probably don't know this, but I was accepted into the Border Patrol. I was 1 foot out into the Border Patrol. I had passed one of my tests, and I had a mentor who used to come visit me at the bar. And because I was a bartender at Blanco down in Tucson, and he was in commercial real estate. He used to always come visit me. And this was back in the day. This was before it was really cool to be a realtor. There was no Instagram tours and reels, and it wasn't glamorous at all.
Right.
This feels like a completely different life, like back when I first started. And he sat at the bar and he said, you should think about going into real estate. You're good with people. Have you ever thought about it? I said, well, I studied real estate, urban planning in college, but there's no jobs. Like I can't find a job. Actually, I studied city planning, urban design, real estate, land development in college.
Was that your degree?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. I wanted to develop and land, but
Yes.
this was like 12 years ago. Nobody was
Right.
building anything. There's foreclosures, short sales.
Yeah.
Like good luck finding a job out of college. There was nothing. There was
Wow.
literally nothing in my field at all. So I was at a crossroads. What do I do? I mean, do I just get a boring job at Chase and be like a banker? No offense. But like that was on my mind too. Like I'm poor. I literally had no money. I mean, I had a friend actually help me with food stamps at one point after college.
Wow.
No, I'm serious. This is exactly what happened. I graduated. I had just quit my bartending job because I thought I was going to go off to Border Patrol. I had, I don't know, $1,000 maybe in my bank account. Really didn't know what I was going to do. Little to no money or anything. And then I decided to give real estate a shot. My mentor just convinced me, like, okay, cool. So I looked in like the classifieds back then. I think I looked on like Craigslist and like jobs for real estate. This is literally what I did. It's so different than real estate now.
Right.
And I reached out to this broker at Help You Sell. I don't even know if they're still around, maybe. And it was cool though. This is really cool. So got a job, minimum wage, full-time, but minimum wage, working at a real estate brokerage in Tucson. Help You Sell. It was cool because this guy was like a 30-year veteran, old-timer, been around the block. Like he definitely knew what he was doing, he had a lot of knowledge. Small team. It was him, his wife, 3 or 4 agents. So I came in and I was the broker and his wife's assistant. So I put up signs, I installed lock boxes, I filled out the MLS sheets, I did all the admin work from the very ground up. So I learned like everything that you could do. And then along the way, so during that time, I was going to school to get my real estate license because I wasn't licensed yet. So I was very poor, had no extra money, and we had a lot of foreclosure accounts like REO and short sales.
Oh, yeah.
Most agents probably don't know what that is, but you know what those were. So the broker that I worked with had a bunch of REO listings and short sales. And then we got BPOs. So for those who don't know, a BPO is a broker price opinion. They send these assignments out. As a realtor, you get paid like $75, maybe $100 if you're lucky. And what that is they'll say, hey, here's this address. It's 123 Main Street in Phoenix, Arizona. We need you to drive by, take pictures of the house, and then evaluate it. Tell us what it's worth. I said, okay, cool. And they'll give you like 72 hours to complete it. So I thought, okay, cool, I can make extra money. So I started getting in touch and getting all of these BPO assignments because I literally couldn't afford cable or internet at home because I had minimum wage. So I would get home from the real estate office. On my way home, I would drive by the properties, take the photos, and then I would go home. Then I would walk to Cartel Coffee and pull up my laptop because I didn't have Wi-Fi at home. And I would just sit there cranking out these reports.
Wow.
It was really cool, though, because I was evaluating homes like an
Did you
appraiser.
get really good at picking up values?
Dialed in into picking at values. And then I would make an extra $300 or $400, maybe a week from these. I was just cranking them.
Nice.
Then what happened is I was doing so many, we started to get REO listings. They were like, dude, you've done 20 BPOs. Do you guys want to do REO listings? I said, sure, cool. So my first transactions were listing and selling bank-owned homes on the seller side.
Wow.
I'd never even helped a buyer yet.
Like just representing banks.
Represent banks. So different, yeah. So that's the start. And then I got in, obviously, learn how to do listings, but not really a human connection. You're just talking to a bank and an asset manager. But I did learn foreclosures, short sales, and then of course you stumble upon buyer deals. I started to get some transactions. And then I got swooped up. I got recruited by I would call them like a big box real estate team. A team in Tucson. This was great. This was one of the best things that ever happened to me. A team that runs TV commercials, radio ads, like big box, turn and burn, but a lot to learn. The best thing that happened to me wasn't the team. It actually wasn't the owner. Certainly wasn't the anything about the leadership there other than the mentor I had there. So I got recruited and they had like a team mentor. He wasn't the face of the company. He got zero credit, but the guy is one of the best realtors I've ever met.
Wow.
Still one of my best friends to this day. He was in charge of like hiring and recruiting, but he was the veteran listing agent there. So he recruited me, got me in. I said, all right, let's do it. So I went to the office every day, sat at a desk right next to him, and I just listened to him all day. He's like, dude, you're a little parrot. You just copy me. I'm like, yeah. So because this guy sold Kirby vacuums. This guy sold everything.
Wow.
Old school guy from Indiana. Cool guy. A lot of experience under his belt. And he was the veteran listing agent. So his name's Ray Laker. Still to this day, like he's
still in the biz?
Oh, still in the biz. Yeah.
Awesome.
Finally on his own, which is great. This is the guy that think of any mega team in Tucson. He's the reason that they've grown and thrived. He just doesn't get the name or the credit. But behind the scenes, like, he's the man. Wow. 1,000% the man. So that's probably year 2 of my real estate career. And during that time, I was, a year or 2 out of college. And I didn't really take any vacations. I skipped all of my favorite things like U of A tailgates because I love the Wildcats. I didn't go to happy hours. I didn't go to broker opens. Didn't do any of that. I just went and worked. Went to the office every day. I worked, smashed leads. I called the leads all day. I just called leads all day. And then my first full-time year, I sold 41 homes.
Wow.
For full-time, 41 homes.
Congratulations.
Second year, 47. Third one was 53. And a lot of it was from Ray, for sure, because it was 2 things. It was from Ray teaching me, but also motivating me because he was like, I don't know if you really have that much potential, dude. You're not really a salesperson. Like, this is your disc profile. You should be a lot more D&I. We'll hire you, and I'll try and train you, but I'm not sure if you even really have that much potential. So I was like, okay, buddy.
Put a little chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, I was like, all right, let's do it. And then also I didn't try and reinvent the wheel and think I'm smarter than everyone. I just sat next to him and listened. And I saw what he did, and I copied his exact same thing, and it worked.
I'm seeing a theme here, right? You had a mentor while you were with Blanco, commercial guy. I got another mentor gets me in the business. Then now I have this gentleman giving me out the scripts and role playing, and I'm listening to him. And
just being able to surrender to a process and go is the number one thing that's helped me succeed my whole career. And that's the number one challenge that I've seen real estate agents have is like surrender to a process, be coachable, and go do it. Mm-hmm. I would say 7 or 8 out of 10, you probably run into this being a coach is like, here's the playbook, go do it. A lot of times I've seen people open up the playbook, read part of it, question part of it, and have analysis paralysis, or read part of it and then try and rewrite it and then go do it. Mm-hmm. Have you ever run into that?
More often than not.
That is like if I could say one thing, that's the number one thing is somebody gave me a playbook. They were so awesome to let me hear the playbook in action. Like, I'm hearing you do this. I just went and did it. And then every mentor I've had since then, I just looked at the playbook, did it. And then eventually, after years and years and years, I've written my own playbooks, but not until I understood the game. You know, I think that's the thing that I struggle with coaching people too, is the people who crush it right away. They come in, They read our playbook. They go through our coaching academies. They go through our learning center, and then they just go do it. The people who struggle, they either don't dive in all the way, or they try and rewrite half of it and like make it their own, and they wonder why it
I can
doesn't
do
work.
that a little better.
Yeah, but yeah, so that was how I got started.
That's
And then,
awesome. Now, how did you get up here?
Yeah,
Because
that's a good
changing markets
topic.
is a big thing, right? Like that's a I'm closing 40, 50 deals a year in my own market. That's a good amount of money. I'm like, hey, I think I'm just going to go somewhere else. Same state, different state, doesn't matter. I'm going to a new market.
Yeah, that was one of the hardest chapters of my whole life, for sure. It was hard, like emotionally, physically. It was really hard. So after I did leave the team with Ray, and I partnered with a friend of mine at a different team, and that was really fun because then I got a little bit more opportunity to kind of help grow the team, not just uh, emerging. I was an emerging agent on their team and growing, and then I went to another team where I was more of the veteran agent, having an opportunity to kind of start coaching and mentoring and growth. And then somewhere along the lines, I felt stagnant. I'm like, I'm born and raised in Tucson, and I'm making pretty good money, but there's got to be more out there. And the thoughts kept going through my head, like, oh, what could I do this somewhere else? What if I never move? What if I just live here my whole life? And what am I missing out on? Should I try something? But it is scary. So I decided to try and expand to Phoenix, and that was a doozy. So the best way I can explain this is imagine living in two different cities at the same time. Like I had two different lives, and these people like didn't even really know about each other. They just thought I lived there almost full time. So what I mean by that is I had to keep my Tucson business going. So a day like today might be I'd wake up, go see a client in Tucson, and then work out at the gym down there. And then I drive all the way up to Phoenix, take an appointment up there, and then maybe work out at the gym up there, and then drive back to Tucson the same day for an appointment the next day. So I started to develop two networks, two groups of friends, two lives, because I kind of had to.
Yeah.
And there was a weird 6-month period where it was completely exhausting. It was
bet.
like, I'm lost. I'm like, but I had to do it. But I'm like, I don't even know. I don't know where I belong. I don't feel like I belong in Tucson anymore because I'm trying to get away. But I don't feel like belong in Phoenix because I don't really have any true good friends that I could call for help. I don't know. And it's a big city. It's intimidating. I'm really struggling to get business because I don't know anybody. So
Right.
the first 6 months was fun and exciting. The second 6 months was really, really hard because the Tucson business was slowing down. The Phoenix business wasn't picking up.
Was it slowing down because you weren't paying as much attention to it?
Yeah, I was
Right?
intentionally, I'm like, I need to push more
Yeah.
in Phoenix. So again, crossroads. Again, another time where I was really broke again. I'm like, oh, here we go again. This is it. We're broke all over again. I thought this was cool. I was making all this money, had properties. I'm like, oh, cool. Broke again. What do I do? And I used a passion to grow my network. I'm like, I have to meet people in Phoenix. Whatever I'm doing is not working. Buying leads was not working. It just was not working. So I became a personal trainer in Phoenix. I needed to supplement my income, and I needed to meet people. So I started doing personal training. I'm like, I got to move to Phoenix full time and I'll do my Tucson deals, but I'll make this my primary and I'll live here and figure it out. So I just cut the cord off.
Wow.
And was like, let's just figure it out. But I can't go broke. I need to pay my bills. So from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. I would train. From 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. I would do real estate work, calls, whatever I could do, showings. And then 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. I would train clients again at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily that only lasted like 6 months. After my first 30 days, I was making $10K a month in the training business.
Wow.
30 days in. Yeah, I'm serious. I was like, this is cool. Wow. I was almost like, oh, what am I doing real estate for? No, it was quick. So I was like, great. Okay, great. Money's coming in. I'm stable. I don't have as much pressure. I can flow. So then I got into a flow state. And then I got recruited by a brokerage here. That was when Hague Partners recruited me.
Mm-hmm.
I got recruited through the gym. Some guy recognized me,
Okay.
actually. I'd been up here. I still have my license. I was interviewing brokers up here because I had known what I'd known in Tucson, but there's so many new brokers up here. So I was interviewing different brokerages, and then I went on a luxury home tour in Paradise Valley. And some guy from the gym that I was training at recognized me, and he looked all confused. He's like, "What are you doing here? I see you at the gym. Aren't you a trainer?" I said, "Yeah, I'm a realtor. I've actually been a realtor for 6, 7 years now." And then we had a conversation. He said, "Hey, I think my brokerage is looking for people like you, like potential team leaders, veterans." I said, "Cool. Never heard of you guys, but let's do it." This was Hague Partners.
Yeah.
Never heard of Greg Hague, never heard of any of that stuff. 2 days later, went to their office, and then they were like, "Please work here. We want you." And then I signed pretty much immediately, and then they threw me right in. I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice. I just wanted to be an agent there and maybe work on somebody else's team. They said, "No, you have to be a team leader. You're not allowed to join someone else's team. You're going to have your own team." And that was really cool. That
What
was
was
a
the
great
draw
thing.
there? I mean, you said you were interviewing all these brokerages up here. You know, there's a lot of
Honestly,
them.
the draw was my first conversation with Greg and Teresa was really entertaining because Greg Hague's an interesting guy. He's a polarizing figure. Some people love him, some people hate him, but if you spend like a good 10, 15 minutes with him and he's talking real estate, he's one of the smarter guys you're going to be in a room with. Love him or hate him, he's a very smart guy. And this was 2018, before 72 Sold blew up. It was very small. I think they had 20 employees there. Like this was really small. And it was like, okay, cool. Feels boutique-y, feels fun. I just thought this is a really smart guy that I can learn from.
Right.
And then Teresa, the broker there now, comes in and she's like, "Give me your listing presentation on the spot." So I had to give them my listing presentation on the spot in front of both of them, and then
Love it.
I just rattled off the top. Actually, fortunately, because of Ray, I was such a already well-trained listing agent because we were banging out listings in Tucson. Like at one point I had 17 listings at a time. Like I was really, really well rehearsed.
A lot of at-bats, a lot of volume.
Oh yeah. If somebody's like, "Give me your listing presentation," go, I can do it on the spot. So I did it, and they're okay, cool. You're hired. Come on, lead a team. So the cool thing was, I'm really grateful that they just pushed me right away to like go be a team leader instead of come join a team. Because I think that dictated my path on where I went.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah, that was the draw. I think this is somebody I can really learn from, and I did. I learned
Another mentor. Yep.
and that my chapter with Greg Hague was really important for me. It was
Why?
This is somebody who thinks out of the box, and I loved it. Like this is somebody who we used to spend every Monday training on the contract. Greg would take an hour out of his day every Monday and train us to read the contract like an attorney. Like I will say the first few years of being at that brokerage, he gave everything he could to make sure we were really, really well trained. We were he genuinely wanted us to be better, like really good agents. And I'd never experienced that before. Most brokerages were just like, "Come in, cool, we have your training over here, we have your marketing materials, we're the best." Greg was very adamant about the training that he had. That was a little bit of a different chapter. I think obviously they've transformed, but I mean, he taught me a lot. He taught me to think creative, think outside the box, like challenge the norms of how we buy and sell homes. And his training was phenomenal. And then he gave me the opportunity to be the brokerage coach there. Then I became the coach for Hague Partners for a couple of years.
Okay.
And then every Tuesday and Thursday morning, I found myself training every single Tuesday and Thursday morning there, which was cool. So I became a coach, and I really enjoyed that role. So,
I mean, I've known you for a long time, but even throughout your story, that seems to be your jam, giving back to the industry that's given you so much, seeking out the mentors, and then re-delivering their messaging back out. What was it that made that chapter end with Hague Partners and go to this new chapter that you're in now?
Yeah, that's a great question. It was, again, another crossroads. I think that chapter ended because it was time for me to step into a bigger role, a little bit bigger role, and serve my agents in a different way. That was a great role, and that was Greg's ship, and he's going to fly it his way, which is really, really great. But I think it was time for me to be able to drive my own ship. You know, being a co-pilot is fun. It's really awesome, especially when the captain is a great captain. I think every co-pilot eventually wants to have their own ship, and that was time. And not that he didn't give me those opportunities, but the home that I found after that gave me leaders who wanted to be the captain of my own ship, who you helped me connect with. The person who got me at my brokerage now, our first Zoom call said, "Hey, I think you're going to be on stages soon. I think you're going to be speaking in front of hundreds of people. Like I think you've got something special." This is my first Zoom call with Spring. This is exactly what she said. I remember she was in her hoodie. It was cold, in Utah. She's like, "If you want to get on stages, like you can do this." And that was the dynamic that I wanted, not of ego, but just I said, "Yeah, I'd like to drive my own ship for a little while. I'd see if I can do it, my way." So I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And when there's, excuse me, that's another mentor.
Yeah.
Right.
I love mentors. I don't know why people don't. I love really good coaches. You've been a really good mentor. Like, I've modeled my business a lot of after what you guys have. I mean, I've had really good mentors along the way.
Yeah.
I that's the best thing that anyone could have.
I tell you, it's like hiring a guide. Like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I wanted to go down this path. You've already been there. You're actually on your way back. Like, hey, can you help me out?" They're like, "Yeah." And they not only just like, "Hey, follow me," but, "Hey, come alongside me and, hey, show me, open up the playbook. Right? Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what I do. Watch me do what I do."
Yeah.
Right? Just like Ray, like, "Hey, this is what I do. This is how I do it. Listen to me talk. Be the parrot." Yeah, that helps out a lot.
Yeah.
So now, what you've built now, your ship that you got now, I mean, it's impressive. You have 20 agents, more that you coach that's in your community, and I look at it and like you've built it really well. But you were mentioning that there's like 4 pillars that you really feel that like lock the back door and keep people in your realm. Like, what are those 4 things?
Yeah. I love my ship right now. I love the people that are on it. This is my second ship. I did have a ship at Hague Partners, which was great. But I could only have a certain model. Now the model of ship I have is really, really fun because the people that are on are great. So
it's more open source, like you can do kind of whatever.
It's so much more fun. And we were really profitable. My last team was really profitable. It's amazing. Just not the right fit, not the right ship. So the ship now, there's 4 pillars that I always think of on keeping this thing going and making sure that people are happy, because I feel like I can really relate to everybody. If you're a brand new agent, you come on my team, like, I know what it feels like.
Yeah.
I've been broke
multiple times.
I've been broke 3 times in real estate. I've rode the roller coaster.
Changed markets.
I changed markets. I went from top agent, started all over. Not when there wasn't the same tools that we have today,
Right.
I can relate to people who want to be a co-pilot. If you want to be a team leader, I can show you that way too. And if you want to run your own team, I can show you that too. So I feel like usually when people come in, I can meet them at their journey because I didn't skip any steps. I didn't just come in and expect to be like, "Oh, yay, this is real estate." I did come from the bottom, so to speak.
Yeah. And didn't skip any of, like you said, I didn't skip any steps, any rungs of the ladder.
I've skipped 0 steps in real estate. There's nothing that I haven't seen or done from being somebody who goes and runs and puts up signs. I mean, I've put up signs. It's just everything. But yeah, the 4 pillars that I always think of, and someday when somebody wants to build a ship and they want me to mentor them, and when I do have those conversations, because we do have those, the things that I cover are systems, marketing, culture, and leadership. Those are my 4 pillars of our team, and what keeps the agents there. Knock on wood, I have really good retention. We have the average turnover for a team is 50%. The average brokerage turnover is 35%. Our average turnover is like 2%. I don't know. We don't really have people turnover. Knock on wood. I mean, we don't have people turnover either. And our team is closed. Like, you can't even get to our team. It's not like everybody gets to come in. It's like, if you're in a really cool
Restaurant is full. You'll have to wait in line.
Restaurant is full. Yeah.
Wow.
So we have systems, marketing, culture, and leadership. The systems are important. 2 things. I want to make sure that the agents have systems to have efficiency in their business, so they can come in and say, "Wow, I can sell more homes. I can be more efficient with my time, so I can go hang with my kids more. or my dog more, or go to the skate park, or go to the gym, right? I'm going to teach you how to get your business more efficient. And number two, systems, so your clients have a better experience. So you get more reviews and you get more referrals.
Nice.
So,
And these systems are like checklists, or how are the systems?
so we spent 6 months building a online training academy. So when
Wow.
you go in, you get your password, you log in, and there's 60, 70 videos with PDFs, tutorials where you can watch. In fact, if my agents want to do the exact listing presentation that I teach or a buyer consultation, there's video walkthroughs of step by step. There's 100 documents, and there's checklists, there's forms, stuff on building your brand, your Google business, like literally top to bottom. The feedback that I usually get from even veteran agents, like Vanessa that came over, she's a veteran agent. She logged in and she's like, wow, this is top to bottom, everything you need to be an agent. So I spent 6 months building that for them. So that's kind of one of the systems that we have too. So they can plug right in there, go in, learn, and then that should teach them how to be a top agent. I mean, that's going to teach you everything from how to communicate with your clients. Yeah, it even tells you like, do your Monday check-ins. Here's how to update your clients. Everything. Here's how to manage your database. Here's how to comp a property. All the stuff. Here's how to write a contract.
Do you have the greatness tracker in there?
Absolutely, we do.
I love it.
Yes, we do. We have the greatness tracker. In
Cool.
fact, my team has to turn in greatness trackers every Thursday at 5 p.m.
Wow.
We use greatness trackers. Friday morning is an accountability call. It's the Navy SEALs call. We call it our Navy SEALs call because they get on at 8 a.m. All their greatness trackers are due the night before, and it's pretty intense. It's not your let's have 50 people on a Zoom accountability call. It's, hey, Greg, got your greatness tracker last night. I'm going to pull it up right here in front of the whole team. What are we doing, bud? Like, what are we doing? They know I'm coming for them on a Friday morning. They know I'm coming for them.
Have you been showing up as the example?
I go and I look at it, and then so we do greatness tracker. And then I usually do one sales or one coaching point for 10 or 15 minutes. And then we close the call with everybody has to commit to one thing that they're going to do to get one new piece of business over the weekend. Because Friday is happy hour, it's party time, it's agent like checkout, it's checkout time.
Yeah.
So if I catch you Monday and light you up at our team meeting on Monday and get you going, you're going to have a hopefully good start to your week. If I light you up again Friday morning, hopefully you're going to at least have a good Friday and Saturday.
Keep it going through the weekend.
Keep it going.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
like that.
That's where the greatness tracker comes in.
That's really good.
Yeah, Navy SEALs call.
That's a good system. Okay, so let's talk about next one, marketing.
Marketing, yeah. So we wanted to do two things. Show the agents what marketing really is. I think marketing is misunderstood in real estate. I think realtors, the greats in real estate, have a really good concept of what marketing is. Most of us think that marketing is just listed, just sold, here's the recent sales in the area. But marketing is appealing to people's pain points, providing solutions, providing proof of concept, case studies. Like marketing is really not what I was taught by most brokerages. Yeah, what it used to be either. So marketing is showing the playbook of here's how to build your brand. Here's how to market to get people to pick up the phone. Here's how to write a letter to somebody of your own, using your own thought, your own thought process to get them to call you. Here's how to create a video on Instagram that actually will get you leads. I don't care if you don't get 100,000 views because it's not a fancy home tour. You might get 20 likes instead of 100,000, but somebody's going to call you. Mm-hmm. It's going to get you a deal. So marketing is two things. We have everything laid out for them on all of our logos, our branding, all of my direct mail that I ever send out is in there. Templates we do. Actually, this is really cool. Whoever's listening probably going to want to steal this. This is really cool. So we have a buyer report card that we turn in every single Monday to our buyers agents because we do updates. I know Core, I think, does like Tuesday updates. Mm-hmm. So sellers get their Monday update, but buyers get a Monday update. And this is an example of marketing that's in there. So you have your own Canva template that has Greg's picture, all of your personal information. It's going to say, here's the homes that we looked at last week. Here's the 3 that you have saved. Here's the notes on them. Here's the plan for the week.
Nice.
Here's the ones that we're still considering.
Ooh, I like that.
It's your report card, buyer report card. They have that. They have all of that. Like, what else do you want? I mean, they have all of that.
But you're remarketing people that you're already working with.
Yeah. So it shows them how to, because if a buyer gets that and somebody's like, hey, aren't you looking for a home? How's it going? Oh, it's cool. Actually, Greg just sent me our checklist. We saw 3 homes this last weekend. Here's actually the homes that we saw when we pull it up. And then when they show their buddy their buyer report card, that their buddy probably never got a buyer report card ever. Nothing like that.
Ever.
It's really, I'll send you a link to it. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So marketing is just designed so they're really well equipped. So they can have tools so they can close more deals and have, raving fans. That's really what it is.
Now, you mentioned a new hire that you have that's a resource for the team.
Oh yeah, this is awesome. This is the first team I've ever done this. Is I have a full-time creative director for our team.
This is crazy. I've never
awesome.
actually heard of someone having that.
The most money I spend as a team leader is on this position, more than paid leads, more than direct mail, more than anything. The number one expense I have, more than office rent, my creative director.
Why?
Look at my social media. Look at my Instagram. So why?
But yours was built up before you hired this guy.
It was built up before.
The why wasn't for yours.
It was for the team.
It was for the teams to be like yours.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. So the creative director's job is to continue to build Living Arizona's brand so it's just recognizable everywhere. And then so there's a couple of layers to it. To have somebody whose job is to continuously push the brand forward and to help the agents push their brand forward and offset some of their costs. So if you were an agent on our team and you got a new listing in on Calla, whatever, up in North Scottsdale, and you're like, hey man, this is really cool. It's a $2 million listing. Well, you're probably going to want a video for that. And those things are expensive. It could be $1,000, $1,500 for a marketing package, maybe $2,000. You as an agent on my team, you don't have to pay for that. Our creative director goes out, shoots the video, does all of that marketing for you, the team's cost. So the team now has that brand behind them, making sure that anybody with the Living Arizona tag, if you have a listing, it's going to have video. It's going to have quality photos. It's going to have quality marketing, and we pay for that. So the creative director's job is to monitor everybody's social media. So, and he'll call you out if he's like, dude, Greg, all you've been posting is just listed, just sold. Here's another listing courtesy of XYZ Realty. Like, it's boring. He'll call you out and be like, what are you doing, dude? Where's your videos? Why are you posting listing courtesy of XYZ Realty? What is that even getting you? It's not getting you. Why are you posting under contract? It's not getting you any deals.
That's awesome.
Let's sit down and figure out, record some videos, figure out some more thought-provoking posts because you're being lazy. He'll literally call you out.
You're literally like removing friction from people's aversion to marketing, right? I don't want to do video. Hey, I got a video person. They're going to give you the stuff to shoot. Follow the playbook that's gotten me to where I'm at with my social media presence and my branding.
Yeah.
And it removes the friction of the cost.
We've been documenting the whole process because I've been working with him for a while, but about 6 months ago, maybe the end of 2023-ish, we kicked it into high gear and we changed our business relationship, and we're documenting everything to be a playbook. Like, how do we build like a Sirhant style brand?
A lot of behind the scenes kind of stuff.
The amount of time I spend behind the scenes on just building our team's brand and stuff, like, it's exhausting. I mean, I film so much content. We spend so much time and money on it, but after a while, it starts to really snowball to where, and I work most of the time, but occasionally I golf when I have some free time to where I'll get a random email from somebody who's watched my videos. Hey, we want to list our house in Scottsdale. We saw your video. Love to interview you. I get those now.
Yes.
But I've been putting in the time to get there. So that's the creative director's job, is to stay ahead of the curve of whatever we need to do to keep the brand moving forward, and then remove the friction from the agents who won't get their butts in gear. And, as much as I can coach them and say, stop posting boring, generic stuff, we'll coach you and be like, hey, sit down, come to the office, we'll film a video, just post this. You know?
That's awesome. Hey, before we jump to the third pillar, what's the PXG deal?
Oh, PXG deals, that's so cool. So the PXG deal is probably every man between the ages of, 15 to 70's dream. So I'm an athlete for PXG. I have a contract. No, I don't have a discount code. Not an influencer. I golf for PXG. So that means that I have a contract signed with them for the year. And I get to test out and keep all their brand new clubs, equipment, clothes, and be an
Wow.
advocate for their brand. So it's really, really cool. Like I and I got this through my content. How it came was one of my very close friends is a professional golfer, and she's an athlete for PXG. She plays for PXG. And then I thought it'd be fun to get us on camera and mic'd up and do a head-to-head match. And it turned
I
out to be
saw that. That
really
was really
exciting
good.
because it was
That was
close.
cool.
It was actually a battle, and it was really good. I was talking a bunch of trash to her on camera. It was pretty
It
entertaining
was entertaining.
because it's like it was like AP versus BK, the pro versus the bro, and it got pretty good because we were going head to head for a while. Um, and then I got connected with PXG just shortly after that because they needed more male people on their team. They just, kind of luck of the draw, they wanted more males on their team. So they emailed me, we set up a Zoom call, and then we talked. Like, who are you? What do you do? Do you golf? What's your story? And I went through it. I said, yeah, I love golf, but I'm a realtor. I have a real estate business and a construction business, but I love golf and I love working in the golf world, and I create a lot of content catered to golfers. And they said, do you have any experience with PXG? I said, nope, never touched your clubs. Literally never. I've never hit a PXG club before. Just got all like brand new Titleist stuff before this too, like 2 months before. And they said, would you be willing to switch? And I said, sure. Yeah, I'll check them out. I didn't really know what was coming. Just a
Right.
phone call or it was just a Zoom call, I think. And then the next day I got a contract in my email. All a full bag, clubs, clothes. I got it. I'm not gonna say the number, but a huge package of
Hmm.
stuff. And I will say that I didn't really understand the brand, but PXG is a phenomenal company. I've
Oh
already
yeah.
learned a lot from my business by watching how they treat me and watching how they treat the employees.
Mm.
Like Bob Parsons, there's a reason he's taking over all of the like Harley Davidson, PXG. Like again, he's a polarizing figure, but I've already learned how to have better employee retention with my team, how to have some good branding. Like I've really learned a lot. I'm not just there to play golf and get free clubs. Like I'm closely watching
Yeah.
what Parsons is doing.
Hmm.
And hey, the clubs are amazing. I don't care. I don't have a discount code. I'm not here to sell you anything, but my golf
They're
game
ridiculous
has gone
clubs.
down to, I've cut my handicap in half. I was like a 9 before. I'm a
Wow.
5. I'm a 5 right now. Clubs are amazing, but the brand is really cool.
Yeah.
So now I'm a golfer for PXG. So
That's cool. But it
um,
also gives you another avenue for the content.
yeah, and the content's fun because I can go out and create videos that are things such as what happens if you hit somebody's house with a golf ball? Who's liable?
Mm.
Um, buying a house on the golf course. Is it better with a public membership or a private membership? What are the differences between the memberships? How do you pick the right lot on a golf course? All of those
Right.
things are
Be on the
really
tee
I
box, the landing zone, or by the green.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I like creating content like that. I actually have a couple of PXG clients under contract right now too.
Awesome.
The guy that this is another system that I teach too. This is a really cool system. So Tyler, great dude. He's the lead of all the fitting departments here. When we did the first shoot and I got fit, it was all on camera. It was to launch the new Black Ops line too. I was talking to Tyler and he was like, yeah, I did some research on you. Looks like you're in real estate. And I said, yeah. He's like, oh yeah, my wife and I eventually we might want to buy a house. And I said, awesome. Has anybody ever taken the time to sit with you and explain to you what it feels like to buy a house? I was like, no, not really. I said, take out your phone. What? Take out your phone. So I asked him to take out his phone and said, what's your phone number? Whatever, gives me his phone number, and I text him my YouTube Buyers Academy, which is, I think it's, I don't know, 25 videos that breaks down everything you need to know about buying a house. I said, hey, I know we're here for PXG to get fit. Whenever you have time, I'd love to talk to you about it, but for now, when you go home tonight, you and your wife should watch that. I think you'll really find it helpful. And then if you find value in that, let's set up a call. Instead of saying, hey, I'd love to work with you. I'd
Right.
love to be your real
What's in it
estate
for me?
agent. I led with value. I said,
Hmm.
here you go. Here's some really cool value. Texted me the next day. He said, dude, my wife and I love this. We've been watching it. This is awesome. We really
We
want to work
binge
with you.
watched your YouTube
Every time
buyers
I send
training.
that, I've sent that to multiple people. Like my wife and I or my husband and I love this. We would love for you to be our realtor. So That's systems, and like that's a system that I teach people to put together.
It's all
So
part of the marketing of that pillar that you're handing to the team.
yeah, to
Yeah.
lead with value, and then Tyler's led with value. He's a really really good fitter. You know, it's the best fitting experience I've had.
Nice.
So now I get to go rep PXG, play PXG, test all the new clubs. I just got brand new clubs like a week ago. The brand new line Gen 7 just
Saw that.
dropped. So I got all brand new clubs again, which is really cool.
Did they take the other ones back, or
Oh,
you
no.
now have two sets?
No, I have two sets now. Yeah. I'm going to be stocked with them.
Congratulations.
But I like the PXG family. Like, I like them. I go in and I've learned from the core channel accounts.
Yep.
I think some people would just be like, cool, I'm PXG, I'm golfer. It's my channel
Right.
account.
Yep.
I go in when I can. I bring them protein bars. I bring them energy drinks. Like, I go say hi to them. Convenient for me. It's in North Scottsdale. But like, I make friends with the people there, and I also try to help their business.
Nurture the relationship, add value for them.
Yeah.
Expect nothing in return.
I offered, which we're setting up to do, an in-person, in-store event where I invite everybody and their mom to come in, meet me, you know, go hit on the TrackMan, closest to the pin contest, prizes and giveaways to try and flood their store with my network of people. You know, they didn't ask me to do that. I said, hey, I'd love to help you guys. Let's fill up your store. Like, give me a date and give me an hour or two, and I'll fill up your store with 50 people.
Let me know when I'm in.
Yeah. Oh, it's be fun. Actually,
I might
you
walk
should.
out with some clubs.
Well, they'll have discounts. They'll be giving away like all sorts of fun stuff. Actually, you should. It's going to be really, really fun. But that's, I don't know, that's the PXG thing. And it's been, it's been a fun part of my brand.
That's good,
sure.
man. All right, so we knocked out the two pillars. What are the last two?
Systems marketing, most important, culture and leadership. Yeah, culture is everything. I think culture has kept me at places and culture has pushed me out.
How?
Previous brokerage. Loved the culture at the beginning. I loved going in every Monday morning. I loved that we had breakfast there. There was maybe 30 or 40 of us. I felt like I was amongst really good agents who wanted to learn their business. I felt like the teaching, which was Greg, was really good. I felt like the culture was like, we're all in this together. We're excited. We have a clear purpose. We have a vision. And this feels good. It feels like I'm a part of something that I believe in. Eventually, that culture did take a dramatic shift. I mean, opposite, night and day. That's part of why I left.
Why do you think it happened? You think it just got too big?
I think it got too big, yeah. And I think Greg means well, and he's super ambitious, you know, but I think it got too big too fast to where that culture just died. It completely went away. It went to not even corporate America, like worse than corporate America. I'm like, I feel completely replaceable. I do not feel valued. I do not feel like I'm a part of something I believe in anymore. And that wasn't intentional, but that's just what happened. It got too big too fast. When I go to sleep at night, no matter how much money I'm making, which is I was struggling with this a lot. I was making a lot of money, but I felt like this just doesn't feel right anymore. Like the culture, the mission, the messaging that we're using, it just doesn't feel right. I can't do it. It doesn't feel right.
So what did you bring to the new business that you learned from there? And then what have you done to insulate the stuff that it morphed into?
Yeah, so I brought everything that I've had from the really good mentors along the way. I brought patience, persistence, and grace. I would say are like the three biggest things that I've learned. Like that's the biggest things that we have. I could tell you something else, like some cool saying, but that's it. Like patience, persistence, and grace. Like the best mentors have been super patient with me. They would listen to me. They wouldn't be like on the phone or like hard to get a hold of when I had a question to ask or I'll call you back. Dude, you're my mentor. I haven't heard from you in 4 days, you know?
Accessible,
They
available.
brought persistence. Like let's keep going. Like your time will come. I know you haven't sold a house for 6 months, but like your time will come. Just stay persistent. Like the best groups I've had patience, persistence, and the grace. Just like actually having a good, kind culture. Like people can be themselves at our group. We're a bunch of weirdos. Like people can. I think our group chat's hilarious. Like people just be themselves. Like don't take yourself too seriously. Go try and make money. But don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah, but culture is kind of like I look at brand as what people say about you when you're not in the room. Culture is kind of the same thing. What do they say about the team when you're walking around? You know? When you're heading to work on Monday, like
it's fun. Like our team meetings are fun. Everybody gets along. You know, people go out, people hang out. I'm going to play in a golf tournament in a month, and I know probably most of the team will come out there because there's spectators allowed. They'll probably all come out there and be drinking and carrying on and
Fun.
getting tanked and watching me play golf. So like
Yeah.
the culture is just one where like everybody feels. I think that if you picked out anybody in the group, they'd say I feel really well supported. I feel appreciated. I never feel judged, and I feel like I matter.
That's a
It's
cool
it's so
feeling.
simple, but like I've
Yeah.
all of the groups that I've been a part of, at one point I had all of that. And then at some point they all went away. And usually it's this growth phase where the leader gets really, really, really separated from the team. The leader's like here, like we're close, right? We're right here. I might be your leader, but like I'm with you. And then the leader gets farther and farther and farther away. And then as the leader gets farther away, they get so out of touch with how their team is feeling, what they're really going through. And it's super easy for that leader to just disconnect him. Like, whatever, you can leave my team. I'm so and
Absentee
so.
leadership.
Yeah, I've been doing this for 20 years. Fine, leave my team. Like, it's just, I'm clinging on to this connection forever, as long as I have to stay here with my team. So they always feel like, yeah, he's in the office with me, like all the time. He'll go on appointments with me. He'll go on listing appointments with me. Like he's in there. He's with me. He's not MIA. He's not in Aruba, whatever, for a month. He's not MIA. Like he's here, right?
Well, two things that you do really well is one, lead by example, but two, you did the thing that not many businesses will ever do, a capped business.
Yeah.
To say, hey, I'm stopping at 20. I'm good right here. Maybe invitation only. I'm going to add one or two, but no more than X. To have a capped business, because most businesses are like, just like some of your previous ones, are like, keep it coming, keep it coming, blow the doors off. And then you have that, I'm so disconnected from all the people that, man, I'm going to lose people that I didn't even have a connection with at all. And then I'm going to need to leave the people that are going to leave that I really had a good relationship with when we were smaller, that I'm like, man, I miss those people.
Almost every real estate coach too has been like, grow, grow, grow. You can have 100 people. I'm like, no, no,
No grow.
I'm good. I'm like, I think there is, yeah. And if I make mistakes, I'm gonna make them my own way. I'm not ignorant, but like I'm gonna do my thing. I appreciate the advice, but I think I have a saying that I'm gonna teach at next week's team meeting. It just popped in my head because we've all heard of FOMO and stuff. I think there's POMO, like there's power in missing out. There's power of missing out.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay with missing out on some of the things
POMO.
that I do. Yeah, I call it POMO.
Yeah.
Like there's power
Hey,
of missing
I'll miss out on going to the club and going to the bar and taking that thing or growing my business to X hundreds.
My whole career is probably defined by POMO. I've had so much power of missing out on stupid broker opens I didn't need to go to, happy hours, things that weren't beneficial for me, for my health, for my business, and then things that didn't steer my business the right way. Like right now, for me, there's power in missing out on the trend to grow as many agents as you can or recruit by any means necessary to your brokerage, right? There's more power in saying, nah, I'm going to spend all of that extra energy in making sure like this tribe over here is really, really cool and they're really successful. So
Like
that's
that.
how I see the
Having
POMO.
a tight filter.
I don't have any FOMO of feeling like I have to recruit 1 million agents to my brokerage and put other people down and say, oh, your brokerage sucks. Come over here. I don't have FOMO. I don't care. Like, be where you want to be happy. And if you want to come to our ship, doors are closed right now. They might open in the future, but I'm very comfortable.
Restaurant's full. Happy to wait in line.
Yeah, for the first time, I can say I'm really, really comfortable with where we're at.
Yeah,
I like
good.
our team. I like our culture.
Let's talk about the last pillar, which is kind of woven in between everything you've talked about today, but leadership. What does that mean for you?
It's a lonely road. It's really lonely. Leadership is like extremely lonely for me. It's exhausting because you feel like, and I'm sure you have a big team. It's like you have all these children. You have 20 children running around. You have 20 people that you're thinking about all the time. Am I supporting them good enough? Am I taking care of them? Are they going to make it? Are they going to succeed? Like leadership is almost constant, huge weight on your back, at least what I feel. But I can take it.
Pressure and responsibility.
It's pressure and responsibility, but it makes you better. I think not everybody's meant to be a leader. And you don't just become a leader because you want to be the cool kid or like win awards. It's really not meant for glory. It's like you just take the responsibility if you know you can be a leader. So for me, I'm transparent. It's really lonely. Like there's the team who they're just there. they do their business, but I have all of their lives to be somewhat responsible for.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to be a good example. Like, I can't have a bad day and have a meltdown and just go MIA and leave for a week. Like,
True.
oh, he's just having a bad week. But your agents can do that. They can have a bad day and have a mental breakdown and be gone for 5 days. I'm like, okay, well, right. I can't do that. I can't have a mental breakdown and be gone. I can't be gone for an hour, you know? So leadership's just, it's really cool. It's rewarding. It's just constant growth. It's a permanent test.
So what's some of the things you do to keep your mental resilience and mental toughness to be a great leader?
Honestly, gym and golf give me a really good break of the mental toughness. And I wish I had a better saying, but I just feel like I have it in me. Like, I just am resilient. I don't know. This time,
Built for
so
it.
it's built for you. As cliche it is, I'm just built for it. Like, I'm really hard to break.
How long you been into the gym stuff? Like, it's ever since I knew you, but it's been like all through college and all through
Yeah, I was
high
college.
school.
Yeah, I
And
played rugby in college.
really?
Yeah.
Well, damn,
played
that's a
rugby.
tough
Yeah.
sport.
I played rugby in college.
Okay.
Been in the gym for forever.
Yeah.
I've just been beat up a lot.
I just think
like,
building that physical resilience leads to the mental resilience most of the time. And I think that's usually an attribute or common attribute I see in some of the high performers that I've coached and been around. But they've built that up. Because like you said, as leaders, it's Spider-Man and it's in the Bible. With great power comes great responsibility, right? And you're right. You're responsible for so many people's like lives, like financial futures, and some like single moms, single dads, people are just coming into the industry. It's like, it's a huge responsibility and it can wear on you.
It can definitely wear on you. And then the mistake I've made, which I finally learned, is not to try and be like someone else. Like, I've said this before, I want to be like Greg Gale, or I want for a year. I want to be the Spring. I want to be the Spring Benson of Arizona. I love Spring. She's changed my life, but I can't be Spring.
You can't be Spring.
I have to be me.
Be you.
You know, and being a leader means just be a sponge, like pick and choose. I've learned so much from Spring. I learned so much from you. Like, be a sponge, pick, but like just be yourself. I think for years I've always found these like idols. I'm like, I want to be like that guy. I want to be like that guy. But then when it didn't really click to be like the best leader ever until I'm like, no, I'm just gonna be me. I'm gonna be me, but as good as I can, for better, for worse. There's a lot of flaws I have. I made a lot of mistakes, but I'm just gonna be me and not try and be someone else.
Yeah, and what's going to come out of you is some of the things you've absorbed from the other people, but it's no different than, Bruce Lee. He studied multiple disciplines of martial arts and then just created his own. And when you get in there and study it, you can see little splashes of different things, but dude, it was him. It was all him, his personality, his craftsmanship to designing it. And that's what your standard operating procedure looks like, your playbook looks like for all 4 of those pillars.
Yeah, and it's fun. I'll learn my own way. I'll have my own wins. I'll have my own losses, but I just feel better. I feel more at peace not trying to be someone. Like,
Right.
not just, that's my best thing about leadership is if you're going to be a leader, like, yeah, have coaches, have mentors, but let yourself lead yourself. Like, you can be a leader in your own way. You can have your own creative way of doing it. I don't know any other real estate team that has a business like mine. There's tons of teams out there. I don't know anybody that has the structure that I have, or because my mentors don't, and they probably wouldn't want me to run my business this way, but it works really good. It's so good for me. I love it. I love how it's set up. I'm going to keep it that way. I'm going to keep learning from them, but this is my ship, and I'm going to take it where I want to go.
I love it, man. Well, dude, I'm so happy you came today and shared all this stuff. It's been a fun journey together, watching you grow and build what you've built, and I'm excited for the future.
Me too. I appreciate you. And I remember we went to, because I said at the beginning, our first dinner, me, you, and Kay went out to dinner, the sushi place, Sushi Roku in Old Town. So you got to meet this guy, Greg. And ever since then, you've always made me feel welcomed and appreciated, because I had a lot of insecurity back then. I was like, I don't know, nobody knows me in Phoenix. This is so intimidating. Scottsdale is so big and fancy. Like, I'm not from Scottsdale. It's really intimidating. So I really appreciate you.
You're welcome, man. I appreciate you as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Cool. For sure.